Yo, what up everybody? So today I want to have a discussion with you guys about something that I've been thinking about for a really long time. Like really ever since I saw Sarada in the events of Naruto Boruto the movie, which is whether or not Sarada can actually surpass Itachi Uchiha. And I'm not just talking about the version of Itachi that we saw in the Akatsuki, which is actually a weaker version of Itachi at full power, but instead I want to discuss the possibility that Sarada might actually surpass healthy Itachi. Now I have a whole video going over how powerful I think healthy Itachi is, and I think healthy Itachi is a lot stronger than a lot of people tend to give him credit for. And to even begin to suggest that Sarada, by the time that we get to the time skip of Naruto Boruto Next Generations, where she and Boruto are confirmed to be 16 years old during the Boruto versus Kwaki fight, to even suggest that Sarada has hit that level of power, a lot of people, they tend to get really upset at the thought. And yet at the same time, I like to kind of point out that at that 16-year-old mark, I mean, we saw several people in Naruto's generation reach high Jonin status, and in some of the upper tier of the generation, I mean, they were at Kage levels. I mean, when you start looking at some of these things, I mean, it isn't impossible to kind of consider. And I think that one of the things that the anime has been doing in a very subtle way is showing us that while Sarada in the anime doesn't have a fully mastered Sharingan, she's dead set on acquiring the level of power that she is going to need to become a Hokage. And for her to be the very first Uchiha to be Hokage, she does need to unlock a different level of power. And those of you who have read the manga, those of you who have read the various novels that have come out that are set in the Boruto era, you know that Sarada has a fully mastered Sharingan by the events of the Majina Bandits arc, in particular when we get to the Sasuke Shinden novel, not the one that came out a couple years ago that was dealing with what happened with Chino and Sasuke, but instead this is, I believe, the teacher star pupil novel, which sees Sasuke take on the leadership role for Team 7, and you get some really cool scenes where Sasuke's training Sarada and Boruto. But it's in that novel that we find out that, you know, like, okay, Sarada's Sharingan has fully matured at this point, and so she's able to fully read movements before they happen. She's able to properly use the Eye of Insight and the Eye of Hypnotism. And I think that once you start taking all that into account, as well as the fact that Sarada, despite being a half Uchiha, which means she does have some stamina issues, despite all of that, Sarada does have really insane chakra control, especially for her age. And you can kind of chalk it up to the fact that Sakura probably taught her a few different things, and we don't know. I mean, some people have said that they think that Sarada might learn the 100 healing jutsu. She might learn how to focus all that chakra into her forehead, which means that during all this time we could have had Sarada storing 30% of her chakra into that seal, and once she masters it, she gets that same insane chakra boost that Sakura Haruno got, where all that chakra that was stored suddenly floods her body. I mean, I think that something like that would be cool to use, but at the same time, I don't think she's gonna need any of that in order to pass Itachi, and I'll explain to you guys why. So when we start looking at Sarada, so let's just go ahead and be clear with something, right? Like, I don't think Sarada is gonna be as fast as Itachi was. Even the sick version of Itachi, when you look at that, sick Itachi was still faster than Kakashi after the time skip, but slower than Kakashi before we got to the war arc. But even then, again, that's sick Itachi. So I mean, that says quite a bit in terms of how fast Itachi was, and we know that Sarada's hand seal speed is not that fast in comparison to Itachi, so there is something to be desired there. But I think that she has the greatest opportunity to surpass Itachi would likely be with her genjutsu. Now, Itachi is known as a genjutsu master. I mean, this dude's able to place people on a genjutsu with only a finger, and when we look at Tsukuyomi was powerful enough that it was able to kill Izumi Uchiha and make her live out 72 years as Itachi's wife, and then he made her brain shut down and made her body actually kill itself. So Itachi genjutsu wise is insanely overpowered. And yet at the same time, I think that once you start looking at Sarada and the fact that she comes from a mother who has a natural affinity for genjutsu, and that same mother was able to break out of a genjutsu that Naruto, as the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, was unable to break out of in Naruto the Last. And I bring that up because in the novelization, they make it very clear. Sakura immediately notices that she's under a genjutsu, and through sheer willpower, she breaks out of it. Whereas Naruto, it hits Naruto, and even the Kyuubi can't break him out of it. So coming from a parent like that, and coming from another parent who, last time I checked, Sasuke's not that bad in genjutsu. If Sasuke takes the time to train Sarada, combined with the chakra control, and combined with the natural aptitude that she gets from Sakura, being able to use genjutsu, I definitely think that that could be the one way that she surpasses Itachi. Now, when it comes to just sheer power and everything, now once we start getting there, I think that when it comes to Sarada, the best way to have her surpass Itachi when it gets to that point is in the lead up to this, in particular in the manga. Since we know that Kawaki is training with a certain character, and for the anime only viewers, I'm not going to spoil it, but Kawaki's training with a really powerful character right now, and Boruto's training with Sasuke. We definitely need Sarada to train with somebody, and I think that one of the best people to do this will probably be Kakashi, again because Kakashi does have an understanding of the limitations that Sarada will have due to her stamina issues. He can teach her how to properly maximize using the Sharingan while being mindful of that, and you have to look at it from this perspective. I mean, Sasuke's training Boruto, so he's not going to have time to fully train Sarada in this aspect. And then the other thing you have to look at is the members of Sarada's team, they're absolutely overpowered, and in order for her to continue to move in a way where she walks in an equal path with them, she's going to need to progress. Because I mean, Mitsuki has Sage Mode, Boruto has the Karma Seal, and the Karma Seal gives him a boost in power. The Jogan, if you go by what the animator and what the director for the Boruto manga, the Boruto anime said a while back, the Jogan is going to be more powerful than the Tenseigan Chakra Mode. So when you take on the consideration, she definitely needs a power up. And I can think of no better way for Sarada to take those steps going forward than to have her train with Kakashi, then to have her boost up that base, potentially maybe training with Sakura to learn more about chakra control, maybe training with a character like Rock Lee to build up her physical stamina, maybe give her access to a couple of the inner gates, because if I'm not mistaken, the second gate is the gate of healing, which briefly restores your stamina. So if you start looking at that and you combine it with the teachings of Sakura, Sarada could get a huge boost. And so if you build up her base, by the time that she awakens her Mangekyo Sharingan, where all of her stats will get an insane boost in power, this will allow her to continue to progress equally alongside Boruto and Mitsuki. And when you take into the threat that the Car organization has, and how even the weaker members can keep up with the suppressed Sage of Six Paths QB Chakra Mode Naruto, we definitely need members of Boruto's generation to take that step going forward. And so I say that to say this in closing, I think that not only will Sarada surpass Itachi, but I do think that it's very, very likely that not only does she pass him, but she completely leaves him in the dust. And again, I'll leave in the end credits for this video my video talking about how powerful Itachi Uchiha is, in particular the healthy version, because when you start looking into that, we could see 16-year-old Sarada reach war arc levels of power. And I want to ask you guys this: do you think it's a good idea? Do you think that she needs to surpass Itachi in power, or do you think that having her surpass Itachi at that age would be a really bad idea? Let me know why down in the comment section below, and let me know why you're either for or against it. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day guys.